Good afternoon, this is Okolo. I wanted to talk about race relations and what's going on in America right now. Some white folks are losing their ever-loving minds because they are terrified of what some people call the minority becoming the majority. So we are on the path of quote-unquote minorities in America becoming the majority. And if we do any kind of working together or unity of any kind, we can change the power structure and the financial structure in America. America was built on slavery. America was built on greed capitalism. America was built on racism. And for a short period of time, we were able to convince ourselves that we've gotten over all that stuff. There was still systematic racism. There was still more black people being arrested and put in jail. The whole drug epidemic, the war on drugs was really a war on people of color. So, but there were times when, we've got a black president. We must have gotten over it all. We even had white people voting for him. I'm not racist. I voted for Obama, is what you might hear somebody say. But Obama was not a threat to the power structure. Love the man. But he was not a threat to the power structure. Now, you take somebody like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She's a threat to the power structure. She wants to have the wealthy who have multiple houses, multiple mansions, multiple yachts, boats, any and everything that they could imagine. And there's some people who have food insecurity. There's some people who are homeless. They're struggling to find housing. There's some people that wake up, they go to work, they come home, they go to sleep. They wake up, they go to work, they come home, they go to sleep. And by Friday, when they get paid again, or every other Friday, depending, they're already out of money. Probably don't even make it. Yes, I have been one of those people. So, we're at a point now where the power structure that's been in place on Earth for approximately 2,000 years, they're losing their power and they know it. And they are going to do any and everything they can to fight it. And to keep the power. Now, there's 3 reasons why it's inevitable that they'll fail. The first reason is they're not having as many kids as people of color. Number 2, people like me who have one white parent, one black parent, through intermarriage, intermixing, whatever it is you want to call it. In America, I'm a person of color. I am a black man. From the day I was born, I was treated as a black person. And even though now I get some questions, what are you? Are you Latin, Latino? Are you black? Are you Middle Eastern? Whatever it is, they know I'm not white. Maybe 1 in 100 ask me if I'm Sicilian. I don't know where they get that from. But anyway, I think it started happening, I think, when I started shaving my head. Because when I had curly black hair, it was clear I was black. Maybe it was the hair. Anyway. And then the third reason is because it's foretold. Through many, many, many different prophecies, it has been stated that this day will come. But you want to know the real thing that white people are scared of? They think we are going to treat them as they've been treating us. In America for the past 4,000 years, in Africa for the past 2,000 years, when they invaded Egypt and forced the Egyptians, the true Egyptians, the original Egyptians, out of Egypt, who traveled elsewhere in Africa. So they think we're going to treat them like they've treated us. But here's the fact. Here's the truth. Every place they've gone on earth where we were, we welcome them with open arms. Native Americans welcome them. You guys ever heard of Thanksgiving? Africans welcome them with open arms. Egyptians welcome them with open arms. You hear about Greek philosophers and all the great stuff they know, quote unquote. All of it they learned from Egypt because the Egyptians were willing to induct them into their secret societies and teach them. Masonry comes out of Africa. Freemasonry, yes. I don't know if you can see it, but I am a Freemason. So I know both sides of it. I know our African history, and I know Masonic history. And I know that what Masons know and do is only a fraction of what was taught in the ancient Egyptian mystery schools. But it is based on that. So they welcome them into Native Americans welcome them. Africans welcome them. Even today, we welcome people. So many black folks are so all up in white people's business that yes, sir, yes, massa. You know, they may not be using those same words, but that's their actions. What can I do? Oh, I want a job. And don't believe anything some black man says or black woman says, but a white person comes and says with no evidence, no research, no nothing, and they're going to believe them. So, one, it's inevitable. This country was ours. There were Africans here in America before Europeans. And it's going to be ours again. And we will not treat them as they treated us. We are kind. We are loving. We are empathetic. That doesn't mean we can't be pushed. Threaten me or my family or somebody I love. I'm going to just leave it there. I'm a very peaceful person. I've been, I think, in 2 fights in my entire life. And in both of the fights, I did everything I could not to enter the fights. Everything I could not to get hurt. And then everything I could not to hurt the other person. Not bragging, but because I took martial arts from a very young age, I won both of those fights and didn't have to actually fight too much. But anyway, so if you're a white person and you've got the fear that black people are going to turn around and lynch you and beat you and treat you and